Welcome into the WCS Sports Connection. I'm your host, District Athletic Director Patrick Whitlock, and back with me this week is my guy, Tate Mathews. Tate, did you have a good trip and a good weekend?
Great trip, great weekend. Coach Gray did not disappoint. He brought the juice and a bunch of wrestling information.
He did. It was
really good.
It was a great breakdown, and I'm glad you had a good weekend. You know who else had a good weekend? Williamson County Sports.
They did.
Yeah, there you go.
Did anybody else have a good weekend?
I don't know. Mine was okay.
Did the Big Orange have a good big weekend?
They did. Congratulations. You got to play well to beat good teams.
That's right.
Neither team played great, let's be honest. But
no.
It is what it is. We'll have a rematch here in a few weeks, and we'll see how it goes. But speaking of Williamson County sports, the tally so far for this year, 5 team championships through the fall and winter, some still to be determined. And now we have 6 individual champions as well across the board when you factor in how great we did in wrestling this week. My first time to go to the individuals, it was quite a scene out there. Pretty impressive.
I love it. Do you like all the bats going, or is that like too much?
It's almost sensory overload.
It is.
And then they take this break, and all the people go up on the concourse, and it looks like people are camping out, like waiting for an iPhone.
Right.
Like there's just people everywhere. I mean, it's absolutely insane. But a lot of successful things for us to go over here. We will start first with girls wrestling. We had 6 finishers, or 6 girls wrestlers place in the top 6. Summit's Samantha O'Leary finished 2nd. Ravenwood's Emery Wilson finished 2nd. And then Independence had 3. Laura Gupton finished 3rd. I believe that was her 3rd time, maybe 4th to place at state. Alice Gizzy finished 4th, and Doria Hamlet finished 4th as well. So a lot of success on the girls' side. Obviously, not as big, not as many different classes there, but a good showing for Williamson County.
Yeah, great showing. And Samantha, she's really kind of been a staple too. So 2nd place, we'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely, and probably more to come from some of those young ladies as we move forward into next year.
It's growing, so it'll continue.
It seems to get bigger every year, right? For sure.
So which means we'll have more.
Yeah, and it'll take longer, and it's just, man, it is a constant whirlwind of them getting those wrestlers out there as it goes. Williamson County combined for 59 wrestlers across 3 classifications: girls single A with Fairview, and then double A, and they produced 10 finalists with 4 champions. I don't think any other county. I mean, maybe whatever county Cleveland is in,
right,
because they did pretty well. But yeah, it's pretty impressive numbers right there.
Right. And Cleveland's a city. I mean, I know they're in a county.
It's a city school, right?
It's a city school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
shouldn't even count.
Shouldn't.
Yeah. So.
But they do.
They do. And
yeah, they probably had 10 finalists combined, boys and girls, on their own.
No doubt.
But
no doubt. I mean, it's a strong program down there. They got it figured out.
Yes.
Speaking of having it figured out, I want to give a shout out to our guy, Charles Pulliam. He had an incredible spread in the Williamson Herald, breaking down all the Williamson County wrestlers that were participating, and his coverage over the weekend. Like, if you couldn't be there, if you followed his Twitter feed, you didn't miss a beat.
Right.
I mean, he's the guy. He's got a passion for it. He and I kind of traded text messages over the weekend, and he's really into it, man.
No,
I mean, it's unparalleled coverage across the state. There's no other outlet that does it better than him.
Probably in the Southeast.
Yeah.
He does a great job. He has a passion for all sports, but wrestling is his deal. He loves it, and he does a great job with it. I actually had him on my radio show Saturday, and he was ready.
He breaks it down,
man. Breaks it down, and I mean, it was great, and knew everything about every wrestler, not just the state tournament, but leading up to it. And he does a great job with it. And we're lucky to have him.
Yeah, we love that guy, and we appreciate it.
He's a good one.
And
he's got his show on 104.5 The Zone, the High School Power Hour.
Yes.
And he's going to air live Wednesday night from 8 to 9. He and Garth Bolden. So I'm sure this will be heavily covered in it. So if you're
no doubt
Williamson County wrestling fan, tune in on Wednesday night.
If you don't get enough on this show, check it out
there you
later
go.
That day. Boom. All right. So starting at the single A level, Fairview had 8 wrestlers participate. Cole Neal finished 2nd, and Hunter Lang finished 5th. Nice showing for the Yellow Jackets.
Yes.
Coach Curtis, again, model of consistency out there in the western part of the county.
Without a doubt. And they've kind of taken a little dip of where they were, but you can tell they're building back up. and so always good to see it's not quite a single A state wrestling tournament without having a yellow jacket in the finals. And so glad Cole was able to get there and get that silver medal.
Yeah,
Great job.
And then the AA level, I think this is the most impressive stat. 5 Williamson County teams finishing in the top 17. And as Coach Gray explained last week, it's different than the duels because you got different kids getting through, to sectional and then the state. It's not just the teams there. So
Right.
a little bit of a shakeup. Page finishes 4th in the duels. Nolensville finishes 3rd. Nolensville finishes strong in this one again. Nolensville 3rd. Ravenwood 4th. Great showing by the Raptors. Summit 9th, Coach Miller's team, doing well again. Brentwood 16th and Page 17th. So just a little bit different feel than the duels.
Right. Well, and obviously the farther you advance, the more points you get. And
Right.
Ravenwood had 3 in the finals. So
Yeah.
that's where that comes from.
Yeah, just racking up those points right there. So, well, speaking of champions, we got to start with our guy Brody Melzoni from Nolensville. Goes out and wins another state championship at the 175 class. You can't say enough about this kid. I think one of the coolest things I saw over the weekend was he wins the state championship match and he does his little cool down where he's kind of running laps. He wins it and he continues to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Just a model of consistency there. Pretty impressive.
Yeah. 2-time state champ.
Yeah.
Coach Melzoni's son, and has wrestled all up and down the East Coast this year. Well, the last few years, and he's just he is a wrestler, man.
I believe he only lost twice this year and did not lose inside of the state of Tennessee.
Correct.
Yeah. So.
And he blew his way through this tournament.
Yeah.
I don't think he got wrestler of the year. I mean, wrestler of the tournament, which I don't know how he did.
He was in the mix for sure.
Yes,
I mean,
he was in the conversation for sure. But
utter-
just a stud.
Utter domination. So also for the Knights at the 144, Trapper Lippincott finished 3rd. 215, Jake Sitnall finished 3rd. 126, Nolan Barton finished 4th. And at 138, Ben Smith finished 6th. So Nolensville, again, kind of the class of wrestling in Williamson County this year.
Right.
Very well across the board.
And so there you go right there. They had a state champion, and then they had all those placers. That's how Nolensville ends up jumping Ravenwood from getting 3rd and Ravenwood get 4th.
Yeah. Speaking of Ravenwood, J.D. Longley wins the 144 class state champion. Ryan Dietrich at the 150 weight class finishes 2nd. Matthew Anderson, oh, so close, man. I really wanted it for him. That kid lives and breathes athletics and is a model citizen. 165 class finishes 2nd. And then Maddox Eskew at 157 finishes 3rd. So a lot of finishers very high on the chart for the Raptors.
Yeah. I think this was the first state champion at Ravenwood since 2014, maybe.
Could be.
So that's big it's big for a lot of reasons, but that's big for JD and then, Ryan, Matthew, all of them. But Matthew finishes up with 2 silver medals, which is unbelievable. And then, you put that on top of the football career that he had, he is a Raptor that will be remembered for a long, long time. All these guys will be. And as you know did you have any of these guys in class?
I had Matt Anderson in class, and I know some of these other kids. I had Ryan Dietrich's brother. He was in my
just good
AP government class.
Good young men.
Good kids.
They'll be successful whatever they do.
No doubt, no doubt. Coach Peck obviously does a great job. I would think bookending his career, starting at Ravenwood and then finishing at Ravenwood. Again, model of consistency. He's done an amazing job. There was a dip for a little while when he left, and he's brought it back pretty quick.
And he brought it quick.
Yeah.
He brought it back quick.
I mean, I think it's been 3 or 4 years since he's been back, and he has just established it again, doing a heck of a job.
He's another one. He wrestled at Franklin. He helped Coach Hambrick at Centennial, and then has been the head coach at Ravenwood twice now, and at Nolensville as well. When you're talking Williamson County wrestling history, he's another one that knows it.
Yeah, he is the face of that program.
Correct.
And his son Brody did a fantastic job as well. Was also in the state tournament. So Summit 157, Zach Little wins the championship. At 120, Blaze Massey 4th, and Mark Tadeo finishes 5th. Brentwood, Reed Loeffel is the champion at the 138 weight class. And then 215, Henry Drazik, who was the sectional winner, but ends up finishing 4th. Still a great showing by the Bruins. And then Page, 106, Carson Gamble finishes 2nd, and Maddox McCullough finishes 6th. So, you look at all these teams over there, you spread across the board. Everybody found a pretty solid level of success that had multiple wrestlers in there.
I sure did. I think they're all special, so none's more important than the other. But I think Reed Lawful's story and the way he did it is so cool. It's a little misleading, but he was a 7th seed.
Yeah.
He was seeded 7th in the tournament. And you don't see that happen very often where they end up winning the state championship, but he did. And then I believe it was the quarterfinal match. He was down 9-1, ended up coming. I mean, that is a big deficit in the state tournament. And he ends up coming back, getting 3 takedowns, I think, in the last 52 seconds. Again, that doesn't happen. And then beat the Collier kid from Green Hill, who had beat him in the finals, who had beat him twice this season, one in the sectionals in a heartbreaker. But so just an unbelievable story, man.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Really cool.
No doubt. So that puts a bow on the wrestling season. Another successful year for Williamson County. And now we're moving on to basketball, and we have the region tournament coming up this week. You know how I feel about this. This is my time of year right here. I just could not be more excited. So let's go through the girls' scores from earlier this week. On Monday, Nolensville goes out to Hendersonville, pulls out a 44-40 win. And then the Tuesday night games, Page 62, Columbia 22, Jordan Porter 14, Mia Hopton 12, Brentwood 45, Franklin 42. That was a big game. That allowed the Bruins to solidify the number 2 seed in the district. Cecily Brandamore, another big night, 26 points. Molly Forrest had 10 in a losing effort for the Admirals. Ravenwood beat Centennial. And then Indy beat Summit 49-30 to sweep the season series with the Spartans. And then later in the week, Brentwood 65, Columbia 23. Now this stat line, we saw a cool one from Cecily Brandamore scoring 57 points earlier, but this is a very close second. Paige Morris, 11 threes.
Crazy.
10 in a row.
That's even crazier.
I mean, you can't do that in practice sometimes.
Can't do that on a gun.
Out, right. Knocking down 10 threes in a row. Put her over the 1,000-point mark and 41 points in the game, which was a school record. I mean, you talk about a senior night.
That's big.
Wow.
Well, and then you think about the tradition and the history of the Lady Bruins basketball program.
Yeah,
And
they've had some players.
They've had some players.
I mean, 41 points, setting a school record. Congrats to Paige.
That's big.
That is amazing. Speaking of Paige, the Lady Patriots, 72, Summit 48, Jordan Pointer and Trista Jones had 12, Gentry Maddox 11, and that leads us to our play of the week.
Garcia's going to drive the lane, puts a floater up, no good. Lady Patriots on the rebound, pushing it up court. 12 for the Lady Patriots with a smooth little finger roll. That's going to be Lily Espelette on the 2, +2 for style points.
So Lily Espelette going coast to coast there, the UT Martin signee. I think what's so impressive about her, like you don't see a lot of games where she jumps up and scores like 20 points because their scoring is so balanced. But I mean, she's a Division I signee and just kind of goes out and does what she needs to do to help the Lady Patriots win.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
That's the cool thing, right?
Yeah.
If we're called on to score more.
Right. She probably could.
You
put her on some of these other teams, she's probably getting 20 shots a game.
That's right.
She's playing her role with the Lady Patriots, so hats off to her. Nolens will beat Centennial, Nyla Johnson 18, Josie Ladd 15, Sarah Brakefield 12. And then Franklin 47, Ravenwood 39, Cecily Brandamore 23, Molly Forrest 14. That game was down. I mean, it was a one-possession game with about a minute to go. Ravenwood really struggled to hit free throws and hit shots around the rim. But the Lady Raptors have really improved as the season has gone on. And then kind of a surprising score, but Indy still pulls out the win, 41-38, pulls that out in the last possession on Friday night as Indy secures the number 2 seed out of District 12-4A. So
Always kind of nice to win a game like that right before tournament time, right?
yeah, it keeps your mind sharp. It'll be interesting to see. I think Indy could be a sleeper team in the girls' bracket, and we'll get to that here in just one second. On the boys' side, the Monday night game, Hendersonville beats Nolo 49-41. Then Tuesday night games, Page beats Columbia 64-53. Sashi Oputa, 22 points. Owen Looney, 17. Mac Lee, 11. Brentwood just hammered Franklin, 74-52. Cole Kaiser had 11 for the Admirals. Cochran, 19. McKnight, 18. Matthew, 13. And McCutcheon, 10 when you get 4 Bruins scoring in double figures, it's a wrap. They were ready to go on Tuesday night, and Franklin really kind of struggled in that game. That was my TV 30 game of the week. Ravenwood beat Centennial 64-58. Sam Steppen 16, Will McCarter 14, Isaac Brent 12, Carter Ezel 20, and Matt Barton 10 for the Cougars. And then Indy beats Summit 62-57. 2 very close wins this year for Indy over Summit. I know that's driving Coach Burgess a little crazy. They are so close to getting over the hump there. And then the late week games. Brentwood 79, Columbia 38. That was a makeup game from the ice storm that was played on Thursday. McCutcheon had 21, Mathews 15, Cochran 12, and McKnight 11. Page beats Summit to secure the District 12 4A championship. Has to go to overtime to do that. It was 73-66. Sochi Aputa 19, Owen Looney 19, Graham Harris 13, and Mac Lee 12. And that also gives us our play of the week on the boys' side.
DeShazo back out to Anderson. Anderson at the top, trying to set up. Gets it to Coverston. It's tipped out of his hands. Looney tips it, gets it to Oputa. Oputa goes up. Big dunk, Oputa. He looked like he could jump from the top of the three-point line. Easy 2. The man has got a skill set.
Sashi Oputa with the flush. I'm telling you, this kid he's a star. I mean, he's only a sophomore. He impacts the game in so many ways. On the defensive end, he's more skilled than you would think for a sophomore. On the offensive end, he's going to be a nightmare as we move forward, but he'll probably be a nightmare this weekend for somebody as well.
I agree. Congratulations, Coach Street. It's big.
Yeah. Coach Street voted the Coach of the Year in 12-4A today. We'll have more on the all-district teams next week, but a little bit of a surprise that Page won that district. But we'll get to that here in a second. Nolensville 73, Centennial 53, Carter Ezel 18, Matt Barton 16 for the Cougars. Those 2 teams will meet up Tuesday night in the play-in game, which we'll get to that here in a second. Ravenwood 54, Franklin 39, Sam Steppen 15, Will McCarter and Isaac Brent 11. On that game, I was doing the radio with Joe Williams. Ravenwood dominated this game. Franklin had like 17 points 20 minutes into that game. Have you ever known a Franklin team to have that much trouble scoring?
No.
I mean, the Raptors had the D on lockdown on Friday night.
I think they're a scary tournament team too. Ravenwood.
Yeah, they could be. They defend. They struggle to score sometimes, but they're going to be in the game because their defense is impressive. Once they got rid of the previous coach who didn't like defense, things turned around. Indy,
He's more of an offensive guy.
Yeah, he was an offensive guy. Indy 68, Columbia 44, and then a Friday night 6 o'clock special, Brentwood playing the Tennessee Heat, a homeschool team, and beating them like a homeschool team, 72-33.
Tennessee Heat stepped into something they didn't need to be.
Was not good. McCutcheon 21, McKnight 12, Cochran 11, Purifoy, our guy, the golfer, stepping up and getting 11 points in double figures in his, could be his last home game as a Bruin. I don't know. They got a pretty good chance to host a sectional, so he might get to play there one more time.
That place will be rocking if they get a sectional.
I pray.
The Purifoys have been good to Brentwood basketball. Man.
Yes, they have.
Love the way they
Brentwood
play.
sports in general. Big contributors. So this is how it all played out. The 11-4A girls standings. Nolensville runs the table 8-0. Brentwood finishes second 5-3. Franklin 4-4. Ravenwood 3-5. Centennial 0-8. On the boys' side, Brentwood 7-1. Ravenwood finishes second 5-3. Franklin third 4-4. Nolensville 4-4. Franklin has the tiebreaker because of the season sweep of Nolensville. And then Centennial 0-8. On the 12-4A side, I think this was interesting because both the boys and the girls finished in the exact same order. The girls, Page 6-0, Indy 4-2, Summit 2-4, Columbia 0-6. On the boys' side, Page and Independence tied 5-1, each beat each other, but they used point differential. Indy beats Page by 1. Page goes on a late run, throws in a 3 at the buzzer to only lose by 1, and then they beat Indy by 10, so they win.
Is that the first tiebreaker?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, yeah. I mean, you go down the list, but it was just clean across the board. That's what happens when you have a 4-team district, which different conversation, different day. Summit finishes 2-4, Columbia 0-6. So that, yeah.
How long are we locked into that? 3 more years?
At least one more, but we'll see. I think there'll be some dress. I think we might end up going to regions. See, we made the decision that we were going to get rid of district tournaments, and there was some dissension on the girls' side about it. There were a few girls' coaches that were not very excited about it. Well, 2 of them that were not very happy about it, I talked to Friday night, and they said, man, this is great that we don't have to worry about a district tournament right now. So I think some other districts will take a look at this and perhaps go to this format, and maybe we just go to all regions.
I think it's
all
said that way.
It's time. If you're going to have 4 classifications, because, we always register our complaints to Jeremy Qualls, but his son plays at Hickman County, and they had a 4-team district tournament, and now they're going to turn around this next weekend and possibly play another one of those teams again.
Correct.
In a 7-day period. It doesn't necessarily allow your best teams to advance.
Right.
So I think what we have chosen to do is going to be groundbreaking and allows our best teams to advance. So coming up on Friday, we have the Region 6-4A tournament. Games will begin at 4 o'clock. And we're just going to go through the first round games here because we'll have another episode before these next games are played. So we don't have to predict the entire bracket, but we can do some foreshadowing if we'd like. The opener on Friday at 4 o'clock will be Nolensville versus Columbia. I expect Nolensville to just drop the hammer on the Lady Lions.
Popcorn City.
Yeah, for sure.
Lady Knights still ranked in the top 10 in the state, by the way.
Yes. And, I think we would all be hoping for a Nolensville-Page final. I think that would be fireworks and dynamite, but long way to go before that actually happens. The next game, the 5:30 game, I think will be the best game of the day. That will be Independence against Franklin. Independence, the 2 seed out of 12-4A. Franklin, the 3 seed out of 11-4A. Independence swept the season series against them. That doesn't always bode well for the team that sweeps.
Right.
And Cecily Brandamore is going to have some motivation to make sure her career doesn't end on Friday afternoon. So that is the game where I think there could be an upset. I'm going to go with Indy. Who you got?
Franklin.
Okay. Little dissension there.
Brandamore.
Yeah.
Gonna have a big night.
She's a game changer. This will be the 7 o'clock game. It's going to be a late night on Friday. Brentwood plays Summit. This is another one. This would be the second best game of the day, I would guess. I think Brentwood has really played better the last 2 or 3 weeks. I expect the Bruins to win. Who you got?
I agree. I think they're really coming into their own, got a little bit more firepower. I would go with the Bruins.
Yeah, Paige Morris coming off a record-breaking day.
If she hits 11 threes again,
it's academic.
They're definitely going to win.
Yeah, it's over. And then the nightcap, the host, the number 1 seed out of 12-4A, will play either Ravenwood or Centennial. We expect it to be Ravenwood. We will see how that goes. Ravenwood playing a lot better, but to beat the Lady Patriots is a pretty tall task. Ravenwood's still very, very young. I mean, starting almost exclusively, they have 1 senior starter, the rest are freshmen and sophomores. They have inserted Aaliyah Starr into the starting lineup, and she has been a huge difference maker, running the point, got to the rim at will. Of course, we know her right now as Donovan and DJ Starr's younger sister, but she's got a very bright future ahead of her.
Got some athletic genes in her body.
Yes, it's a good pedigree there to have.
For sure.
All right, and then the boys bracket. I think this is.
So we're going Page?
Yeah, I'm going Page.
I am too.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer there. All right, the boys bracket, I think, is going to be incredibly interesting.
I do too.
The boys bracket, a lot more parity across the board. There won't be parity in this first game, the 3 o'clock game on Saturday. Brentwood coming off a recent beatdown of the Lions of Columbia Central. I expect
will happen again.
Brentwood to take care of business rather easily in that one. Maybe we'll get ahead of schedule on Saturday, maybe a running clock. I don't know. Popcorn City?
Popcorn City.
Yeah, big time.
Boat Race City.
Yes, Boat Race City. And we love it. All right. Independence and Franklin, same as the girls matchup right here. So Independence swept the season series against Franklin. again, that doesn't necessarily bode well for the team that sweeps. But Coach Wilkins, we've talked about this before, he's really got the most out of this team this year. I mean, they are playing really well. Franklin had a bad week last week. So can Coach Tigert flip that switch and get them back to playing where they need to be? I think that's the big question here. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he can. Without a doubt, he can and will. But I think this is where sometimes teams that are used to going deep into the tournament, I think that might be the winning edge here. And these Independence kids, although they were younger, right, and lesser roles at those times, they don't know anything different. And I think that pays dividends. And the Eagles get the win.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Eagles as well. They do just kind of have that edge about them. I mean,
They expect to win.
It's a younger team. Not many of these guys have played much of a role, but this year they're just kind of stepping in and being like, hey, we've been to the state tournament. We know what it takes to win, and they're doing it. I think the key for Franklin, can they contain the Independence backcourt? We'll see. I don't know.
You'll find out.
Yeah, they've got to shoot better than they did the other night. I think Carson Vaughn is the key for Franklin. When he plays well and their guards are doing what they normally do, then Franklin's really tough. But, I think you got to give the edge to the physical aspect to Independence in this one. I think Independence wins the Battle of the Paint, and I think that's what wins in February and March.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we are.
So we're both going Indy.
Both going Indy.
Okay.
Now this next one, Ravenwood, the 2 seed out of 11-4A against Summit. These teams played earlier. It was like a makeup game. It was a Saturday afternoon, so kind of an odd game, like afternoon game following a long ice storm. Ford DeShazo did not play in that game. He is one of Summit's better players.
Correct.
Ravenwood wins, I think, by like 6-7 points. This is the game of the day on the boys' side as far as I'm concerned. Ravenwood defensively playing really, really well. Struggles to shoot it. I expect Summit to zone them. Could cause some problems. This is really a coin toss. I'm tempted to pick Summit, but I don't think I can do it.
Miss Gaynor's probably going to text you.
She probably will, even though she has no dog in the hunt anymore. But Ravenwood has played really, really well. Very competitive with Brentwood. 2 good wins against Centennial and Franklin last week. Summit loses a tough game in overtime to Page. But Coach Burgess, man, I'm telling you, his teams are prepared, and they do what they do well. So I think this one is like a 1 or 2 possession game, but I'm going to go with Ravenwood.
Ravenwood?
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think it's very close. But I like and Ravenwood's playing their best ball of the year. But I like Summit in this one.
I think that's a fair pick. Sam Steppen playing really well for Ravenwood. The key the last couple games, he's gotten some help. Isaac Brent getting double figures, Will McCarter getting double figures. Ravenwood does not shoot the ball well from 3. In fact, I told Joe Williams, I was like, if they hit 6 threes, then they're going to win.
Right.
They hit 6 threes against Franklin, but that was not the reason they won. They just kind of dominated that game from the tip.
Burgess, the scouting report, man.
Well, you're welcome, Coach. So we'll see how it plays out.
DeShazo being back for this one is.
Yeah, it's huge.
That's huge.
He had I think he was, under the weather last game. So him being back, and he's a heck of a player. Now, the nightcap. I say that Ravenwood Summit might be the game of the day, but if you're looking on paper, it could be Page and Nolensville.
Right.
Nolensville, the only team in the county to beat Brentwood.
Right.
But I'm not 100% convinced it's going to be Nolensville, and here's why. They just played Centennial Friday night, convincing 20-point win. Centennial's style is a frenzy, up and down. Carter Ezel obviously can get hot. Matt Barton can get hot. They've got some other kids. Mongi can knock down some threes. If you know what you're going to get out of Ezel and Barton, they're probably going to get double figures. But if they have another kid step up and knock down some shots, and I'm telling you, in an elimination game, when that team starts knocking down some shots and you're the favorite, you get tight, you're in trouble.
He can get away from you.
If Nolensville doesn't come with the right mentality, they're the better team. But if they don't come with the right mentality, I could see Centennial winning that. I'm not picking that. But a Page-Nolensville game, if you're looking for a 4-1 upset in 4A basketball across the state of Tennessee, this is probably one of the more obvious picks in a region tournament.
You think so?
Page is hosting. It's at Page. Sometimes hosting this thing is a hassle.
Yes.
Because you have to focus on so many other things than preparing your team. I've been there. I've done that. I've left disappointed a couple times doing that. Page has had an awesome year. They're younger. Nolensville got some good senior leadership. Johnson, Hall. And they're a dangerous team, man. I mean, they played better the last few weeks, but we'll see. So if it's Page and Nolensville, I'm picking the Knights.
I am too.
Man, that would talk about shockwaves. That would be a
changes things up.
Frustrating end of the season for Page.
It's a tough thing about tournaments, man.
It is. It is. And, it used to be, as coaches, we used to say the toughest games to coach in were the district elimination games and then the region semifinals. But now, under this format, it's the first round of the region. A lot of pressure on these teams.
Well, everything's riding on it.
Yeah,
so,
this is it. Your whole season is, you're judged on this.
Right.
Fair or not, you're judged on this. It's been good sometimes, it's been bad. I really think the coaches that your team is going to emulate, the demeanor of your coach. If you coach uptight, if you stress out about this, I think you really put your team at a disadvantage. You gotta find that happy medium where your team is loose, but they're not too loose.
Right.
And it's not always easy.
Well, and he's good at that.
Yeah, even Steven.
He's an even keel guy.
For sure.
But I think you're right. Nolensville. Now they got to get through Centennial.
Right.
But I think they're just when they play well, they're such a bad matchup.
Yeah.
They give you a lot of different matchup problems.
Well,
and so
good big guy,
right.
Shoot the ball relatively well. Got some unsung heroes, Brody Cooper. It's just Nolensville's a dangerous team. You could see them meeting up with Brentwood again.
Correct.
That bottom part of the bracket, it would not surprise me if Ravenwood, Summit, Page, or Nolensville was in that district final. Now, I will be surprised if Brentwood doesn't get to the region final, but Independence has played them tough twice.
They have.
1 to 2 possession games. I don't think Coach Crane is ecstatic to see the Eagles on his side
I
of the
would think
bracket.
that, of course, he's not going to make his picks public, but I would think Coach Crane's probably pulling for the Admirals in the first round game.
Yeah, but when you get caught up in that stuff, it always bites you.
That's right.
You just got to win.
They're worried about you.
You got to win and then focus on the next game. So,
And anytime you get Brentwood and Franklin together,
yeah,
a lot of things can happen too. So
again, Brentwood the season sweep convincingly last year. Franklin Centennial.
Right.
Franklin hammers Centennial twice, and then Centennial shoots well. Franklin doesn't. And what we thought was a surefire state tournament team is sitting at home watching the region final. Yeah, Franklin could have done some damage in that state tournament last year.
Without a doubt,
didn't get there. It's a cruel job.
Tough sport, man.
Yeah. It is. Well, we could say that about them all, I guess.
All of them.
For sure. So, all right, that's going to wrap it up. Next week when we come back, we will have a full region quarterfinal breakdown, preview the semis, and then on to the finals and anything else that comes up. We got spring sports beginning today, this being Monday. I believe girls flag football, tennis, and lacrosse start their seasons this week, and then soccer, track, and softball, baseball next week.
Right.
Within the next 2 weeks. So we will have some spring previews kind of once we get through basketball. I think we'll have a couple of state tournament teams to talk about as we go into spring break, but it's a fun time of year. It's hard to believe it's almost March.
I know. And that's what I was going to say. You get them all started and then you go on spring break.
Right.
But a lot of them go somewhere to play for spring break.
Yeah, go to Florida. It's not a bad gig.
Not a bad gig.
Not a bad gig at all. So.
Would love to see a boys and a girls state tournament basketball team. And I think we got a really good chance.
I think we got a good chance to get 2 from the girls. I think we'll get at least 1 from the boys. But, just how it plays out, you could get 2. We're going to have a team. We're going to have 2 teams in the sectional regardless.
Without a
in
doubt.
both of them. So it's going to be fantastic. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you again next week.